In this video, we will study the performance of medium length transmission line. That is, we will learn how to calculate voltage regulation, line losses and transmission efficiency for medium transmission line. Now the parameters of medium transmission line. As we know, in a transmission line, four parameters can be present: series resistance, series inductance, shunt conductance and shunt capacitance. In case of medium transmission line, shunt conductance is assumed 0. Since in medium transmission line the length is medium, so we consider there will be no leakage current flowing. That's why the effect of shunt conductance is assumed 0. Second, the shunt capacitance effect, which is not assumed 0. In case of short transmission line, shunt capacitance effect was assumed 0, right? But in medium length transmission line, its effect is not assumed 0. As the capacitors are connected in parallel and its value is proportional to the line length, therefore, when the length of the transmission line is medium, there will be some considerable shunt capacitance. As a result, the parameter in performance calculation, which depends on the capacitance value, it will have some considerable value, right? For example, one parameter, which is charging current, it will have some considerable value since it depends on the capacitance and voltage rating, and in case of medium length transmission line, the voltage level is high compared to short transmission line, and the value of capacitance will be also high compared to short transmission line. Therefore, we must consider the value of capacitance dependent parameter like charging current for getting reasonable accuracy in medium transmission line calculation, right? Now, equivalent circuit of medium transmission line. In transmission line, the capacitance is uniformly distributed over the entire length of the line. However, in order to make the calculation simple, the line capacitance is assumed to be lumped or concentrated across the line at one or more points, and this localizing of the line capacitance gives reasonably accurate results. For the performance analysis of medium transmission line, commonly used localized capacitance model are nominal T model and nominal pi model. In nominal T model, the whole line capacitance is assumed to be concentrated at the middle point of the line. So line capacitance is concentrated at the middle point of the line, right? And half of the line resistance and reactance are lumped on each side of the capacitance. So half of the line resistance and reactance, are lumped on each side of the capacitance. So this side, half of the resistance and reactance is lumped. This side, half of the resistance and reactance are lumped, right? So this is nominal T model. What happens in nominal pi model? In nominal pi model, capacitance of each conductor is divided into two halves, one half being lumped at the sending and the other half at the receiving end. So one half of the capacitance is lumped at the sending end and the other half is lumped at the receiving end, right? And in the middle, resistance and reactance of the line are assumed, right? So here is the equivalent circuit of single phase So here is the equivalent circuit of single phase medium transmission line, which is based on T model. Here the capacitance is concentrated at the middle of the transmission line, and resistance and reactance are divided by 2. Half of the resistance and reactance are lumped on each side of the capacitance. So here is half and here is half, right? Let us consider Vs is the sending in voltage per phase, right? Is, which is the sending in current per phase. R is the resistance per phase. XL is the inductive reactance per phase. And C is the capacitance per phase. IR is the load current per phase. This load is inductive load. And VR is the receiving end voltage, right? IC is the current flows through the capacitor, which is called the charging current. And V1 is the voltage across this capacitor, right? Now the phasor diagram of nominal T model based medium transmission line. From the equivalent circuit diagram, applying KVL, we can write Vs equal to Is R by 2 plus Is XL by 2 plus V1, right? And we can write also V1 equal to IR R by 2 IR XL by 2 plus VR, right? So we get the equation for Vs and we get the equation for V1, and for Is current we get Is equal to IR plus IC, right? Now for drawing phasor diagram we take VR as reference. So in phasor diagram we have to draw all voltages and currents, right? So we start from VR taking as reference. So we draw VR, right? So VR, which is represented by OA. Then we have to draw IR XL by 2 or IR R by 2, right? So we must draw IR before drawing IR R by 2 or IR XL by 2. So IR, which is basically the current flowing through the load, and this load is inductive load. So we assume this IR lags behind VR by phi R angle. So this is IR. So IR R by 2 and current IR, this will be parallel. So we draw IR R by 2, right? The voltage drop due to current IR, right? Next we can draw IR XL by 2, this voltage drop, because XL by 2 it leads current IR by 90 degree, right? So we draw IR XL by 2. Now after getting VR, IR XL by 2, IR R by 2, we can draw the resultant, which is V1, right? So we can draw the resultant of this 3 voltage drop. This is V1, which is represented by OC, right? So we have drawn until V1, right? Now we will draw this voltage Is XL by 2 and Is R by 2, and ultimately we will draw Vs, right? For Is XL by 2 or Is R by 2, we have to draw Is current first. So Is equal to IC plus IR. So IR we already drawn, right? For drawing IC, we know the IC is the current flowing through the capacitor, and we have already drawn the voltage V1. So this current since this is capacitor, so this IC current will lead voltage by 90 degree, right? So this IC current, it will lead voltage V1 by 90 degree, right? Now we can draw the resultant of IC and IR, and we get IS, right? So we get IS. Now we can draw IS R by 2, because IS R by 2, it is parallel to the IS. So we can draw IS R by 2. After drawing IS R by 2, we can draw IS XL by 2, because this is inductive, so purely inductive. So this will lead IS by 90 degree, right? So we draw like this. Now after getting V1 IS R by 2 and IS XL by 2, we can draw the resultant, which is Vs, right? And this Vs is represented by OA, right? So by this way you can draw the phasor diagram of nominal T model medium transmission line, right? Now we'll see the equation of voltage and currents for nominal T method. So from the equivalent circuit diagram, we can write V1 equal to IR R by 2, IR is the current, right? IR XL by 2 plus V1, which is across the load, right? Or which is the receiving end voltage. Similarly for Vs, we can write Vs equal to Is is the current, R by 2 plus Is XL by 2 plus V1, which is across the capacitor, right? And for current Is, we can write Is equal to IR plus IC, right? So VR vector is equal to VR, since we take VR as reference, it is 0 degree. So we can write VR vector is equal to VR, right? There is no angle with VR. And current, and compared to VR, it has an angle of minus phi r. So minus phi r we can write as cos phi r minus sin phi r, right? So here I did not put sign, the arrow sign on voltage and currents, but you must include the arrow sign, and when you will do math, you must include the phasor of each voltage and currents for calculation, right? So if we include the angle of IR, then we can write VR plus IR cos phi r minus J sin phi r. So we include the angle of IR. Similarly, from this equivalent circuit, we can write the equation for capacitive current or charging current, which is IC equal to J omega C V1, right? We can write from here. For sending in current and sending in voltage, basically for all currents and for all voltages, we must include the phasor, right? Now here is a problem on nominal T method. A 3-phase 50 Hz overhead transmission line 100 km long has the following constants. Resistance per kilometer per phase is 0.1 ohm. Inductive reactance per kilometer per phase is 0.2 ohm. Capacitive susceptance per kilometer per phase 0.04 into 10 to the power minus 4 Siemens. Determine sending in current, sending in voltage, and sending in power factor. Also transmission efficiency when supplying a balanced load of 10,000 kilowatt, 66 kV, power factor 0.8 lagging, use nominal T method, right? So some parameters are given, resistance is given. For 1 kilometer, we have to find for 100 kilometer, so just multiply it by 100, so we get 10 ohms for 100 kilometer. Similarly, we get reactance value 20 ohms for 100 kilometer and capacitive susceptance value 4 into 10 to the power minus 4 Siemens for 100 kilometer, right? And we convert this line voltage, since this is three phase, so this line voltage we convert as phase voltage, just divided by √3, we get 38105 volt. This is phase voltage, right? Now what we have to do, we have to calculate load current, and we can use this formula. Here you can see we divided by √3, since all the parameters we use here for three phase, power delivered three phase, here 66 voltage is given for line voltage, right? So we divided by √3 since we want to get it for single phase. If here single phase power is given and phase voltage is given, so then we don't need to divide it by √3, right? Since all the values are given for three phase, so we divided this by √3, right? So cos phi r is given, so we can easily determine sin phi r from here, right? So what we have to do, we have to calculate sending in current, which is Is. We have to calculate sending in voltage, which is Vs, right? And after that we have to calculate sending in power factor, that is cos phi s, right? And transmission efficiency. Now we want to determine the sending in current, and from the equivalent circuit we can get Is equal to Ic plus IR, right? Here IR, we already know the magnitude. Since the load is inductive load, power factor is lagging, so we have to consider IR at an angle of minus phi r, right? So minus phi r angle we can write as cos phi r minus j sin phi r, right? After putting the value we get 87.2 minus j 65.4 ampere, right? And how can we get the charging current? So from the equivalent circuit we can get the equation for calculating charging current, which is Ic equal to JYV1, right? Here we don't know V1, so we have to calculate the V1, and V1 we can get the equation for V1 from this equivalent circuit, which is VR plus IR Z by 2, right? And after putting the value we get the value for V1, right? So after getting the value of V1 we can easily determine the value of Ic, right? And it is minus 0.218 plus J 15.6, right? So we know Ic, we know IR, so we can easily determine the value of sending in current, right? So this is the value of sending in current, and 100 is the magnitude of this sending in current, right? Now we want to calculate the sending in voltage. The equation for sending in voltage we get from equivalent circuit is V1 plus Is Z by 2, right? So V1 we already determined from here, Is we just determine, Z we know the value of Z, right? So after putting all the values we get the value of sending in voltage, so 40145 at an angle of 1 degree 40 minutes volt. So this is the sending in voltage for phase. So we just multiplied by root 3 for getting the line to line sending end voltage, right? So finally we get the value for line to line sending end voltage as 69.533 kilovolt, right? Now we will calculate sending end power factor, which is cos phi s. So what is phi s? This is the angle difference between Vs sending in voltage and Is. So this is the angle phi s. So from phasor diagram we can see that phi s is the sum of theta 1, which is the angle difference between Vs and Vr, and theta 2, which is the angle difference between Vr and Is. So we can get theta 1, which is the angle difference between Vr and Vs, is 1 degree 42 minutes. Here Vr, it has no angle, so it is 0 degree, and Vs, it has an angle of 1 degree 42 minutes. So we get theta 1 as 1 degree 42 minutes, right? Similarly, theta 2, which is the angle difference between Vr and Is. So Vr, it has an angle of 0 degree, and Is, it has an angle of minus 29 degree 47 minutes. So ultimately we get theta 2 equal to 29 degree 47 minutes. So after getting theta 1 and theta 2, we can easily determine theta s, which is the sum of theta 1 and theta 2, and ultimately we find 31 degree 27 minutes, right? So what will be the sending in power factor? Cos phi s. Phi s is 31 degree 27 minutes. So we can get the power factor as 0.853 lagging, right? Now we have to calculate transmission efficiency. What is the equation for transmission efficiency? Power delivered divided by power sent, sending in power, right? Here the sending in power we have to find for 3-phase, because power delivered, it is given for 3-phase. So for finding 3-phase sending in power, we just multiplied by 3, right? Sending in voltage, sending in current, this is all for single phase. So we just multiplied by 3 for getting 3-phase power. After getting the sending in power, we just divided power delivered, which is given as 10,000 kilowatt, divided by sending in power. We get the transmission efficiency as 97.34%, right?